A hearty welcome to all the students of Standard 6 in their science period. Today we begin with our chapter 11, that is work and energy. Now in the previous chapter that we learnt, we saw that force is required or force is necessary to move an object from one place to another, or to change the position of the object we need force. Now that was force and displacement. Now displacement means the position, change in position. So that was what we learnt in the previous chapter. Now we move on a step further, where we will learn about what is work and energy, okay, and how force is required to do your work. Okay. Fine. Now when you look at this picture here, what we see is the boy, he is trying to pull the box. Okay, and after he applies that that force or pull, we see that the position of the object has changed from the left hand side over to the right hand side. Okay, so to change that position of the object or change the position of the box from one place to another, he had to apply force. Okay, so he has applied some force. The object has moved from one place to another. Okay, that means the position of the object has changed. So we say that some work has been done here. Okay, so the two most important things for work to be done is force and displacement. Okay, force is the force that he is being applying, okay, or he is applying to the box to pull it from one place to another. What is displacement? This change in position is called as displacement. So in short, what we say is, for work to be done, we require force and we need displacement. Without these two things, we cannot say that work is being done. Okay, so without applying any force, can the object be displaced or can it move from one place to another? No. Or you are applying force but there is no change in displacement, or there is no change in the position of the object, we cannot say that work is done. So for work to be done, what is necessary is force and displacement. So what do we conclude with this is, when an object is displaced by applying a force on it, work is said to be done. Okay, so when an object is displaced means the change in the position of the object. Displacement, okay, when we say displacement, the place of the object is displaced, that means from one place to another. So that is displacement. So when an object is displaced by applying a force on it, so that displacement takes place only when you apply force on that object. So then we say that work is done. Okay, now there can be some relation between this work done and force and displacement, and that is when more force is applied. Okay, when the same work when you are doing and you applying more force, we say that more work is done, but the displacement will remain the same. Okay, as we seen in the previous picture there, in the previous slide, what we see was the boy is trying to pull the box from this place to the other. Okay, now if he is applying more force, okay, but the position of the box will remain the same from the left to the right, okay, as much distance is shown there. Now when he is applying more force, we say that more work is done. Okay, in the other hand, if we say that I am applying the same force, I am not applying neither more nor less force, but I am applying the same force what I've used before, but this time I am shifting the object a little bit more, or the displacement has changed. If I change the displacement of the object, okay, even then I say that more work is done. So if if you want more work to be done, either you apply more force or the displacement should be more. Is that clear? So there is more displacement, or if there is more force that is applied, we say that the work done is also more, or more work is done. Okay. Now, next we move on to another important thing that we are going to learn here, that is energy. Okay. Now, what is this energy and how is it related with work? Now, if you look at this picture here, the person in the picture is trying to push a car. So that means the car is the object. Now, he is applying force on that object. Correct? When he is applying force, there will be some displacement of the object. Okay? If not more, like to a long, far away distance, but at least there will be some movement of the object because he is applying that much of force. So there is force, there is displacement. So what do we say? When there is force and there is there is force and there is displacement, we say that work is done. So here in this picture we say that work is being done. Now, to apply this force, okay, he is applying some force to push the car. Definitely you will need some energy. Now, if you don't have enough energy, okay, the energy that we get, by, consuming food. Okay, why do we eat food? We say that we eat food to get energy. Now, so the energy that we have within us is required to apply the force. Okay, that means without energy in you within yourself, you cannot apply any force, and if there is no force, there will be no work done. So there is a relation between the work done, that is the overall work that is done, and the energy that you possess or the energy that you have. That means if you don't have the energy, you cannot do the work. Okay, and we say that there is no force that you have applied or there is no displacement. So there is no work done. So for all these things to happen, we require energy. Okay, so that is a direct relation. And what we can also say is the energy in this person's body or the energy that the person has is being transformed into that object in the form of force. Okay, through the applied force. So when he is applying that force, what is happening is the energy is getting transformed into the force that he is applying. Okay, so now force is being applied, there is displacement, and then there we say that work is done. Okay, so this is what is energy. But the energy that he has or the energy that some other person has will be different. Okay, the energy or the amount of energy that each person has within himself or herself, okay, or within oneself is different from the other person. So what we can conclude is, what is energy? Energy is the capacity to do work. This was a definition of work. Work has been done because the force applied to the car has caused displacement. This is the conclusion for the picture that we saw before this. Okay, about the man pushing the car. So we say that work is being done because there is displacement of the object, that is the car, with the applied force. Okay, so that was work that is done. Now to do this work, as I said, we need energy. And what is energy? The capacity to do work is called as energy. Now, this word, that is capacity. When we say capacity, what does that mean? It means that each person has different amount of energy level, and the work that is done depends on this energy level or the capacity that that person has to do that particular work. Like for example, if you look at this slide here, what you see is there are some children about to run a race. It will be a long distance. Now, what we see in the end, once the race is over, is all may not be able to complete the race. There may be some who are lagging behind. Some might have just fell off because they did not have the stamina, or we say what? We say that they did not have the energy to complete that entire race. Okay, everybody will not be the first to reach. Okay, the first person who has won the race, he has reached the finishing point. Then there will be a person who comes second, then the third, and so on. Now, why there is a difference in their position? Because of the capacity that they have to do that work. Now, we say that yes, work is done here because there is force applied by the body to run the race. There is displacement, right? You are changing your position from the starting point to the finishing point. That means there is displacement. So we say that work is done. There is work done here. Now, this work that is done requires energy. Okay, and energy is different in each and every different person. So the person who finishes first, we say his capacity to do that work is different from the person who reaches second or third, or the person who could not or who was not able to complete the race. Okay, so this capacity to do work is different in different people. So we say, or we conclude here, that the capacity to do work is called as energy. Please remember this definition. Okay, so work and energy are interrelated. To do work, we need energy. Okay, so this work and energy is what we are going to learn in detail. We already know what is work. Now we are going to learn further on tomorrow. In tomorrow's lesson, we will learn more about energy, or the different forms of energy that is present. Okay, energy to do work. Okay, we require energy to do work. Now, a lot of work is done around us. Okay, and this energy that we require to do the work, or for any work to be done, the energy that is required is present in different forms, and that is what we will, or I will show you or explain in tomorrow's video. Okay, now till tomorrow, before we meet tomorrow, I want you to read the chapter. Okay, start off it till where we learnt. In case if you have any doubts, you can ask me in the ask questions section in your MyD School app. And till we meet tomorrow, take care of yourself and study well and enjoy your holidays that are coming up. So thank you and goodbye.